Welcome everyone to episode 2 of my Tekken 8 Beginner's Guide series. Today we are focusing on Paul Phoenix, a very iconic character. Probably one of the most iconic characters besides like the main Mishimas. If not, he's definitely up there. Everyone knows Paul. Very iconic, been in Tekken for such a long time now. And he's very similar to his Tekken 7 self in Tekken 8, just with a little more changes, but his overall game plan is still the same. But before we get into that, just to explain, like I always do with these guides, this is a beginner's guide made specifically for new players. All you really have to know to watch this guide is just the Tekken notations. I'm going to be referring to moves like 1, 2, 3, 4. You can just Google Tekken notation and follow along like that. But besides that, yeah, this is definitely meant for beginners. You can watch this without really knowing anything about the game. And kind of, this isn't like an advanced guide, right? Like if you want like super advanced combos and technical stuff, I'm sure there's like tons of that out in the internet, but this is more just to give you a feel for the character. You can look at it, you can say, okay, I'm gonna explain like what's his play style, his general moves, or like the game plan, right? Just so you can get a good feel for the character, and then if you do like what you see and you enjoy playing him, you can go deeper and find other stuff. So definitely a beginner guide. Don't get mad at me if I miss some stuff. But anyway, and also just to mention really quick, I'm not on the beta anymore. I'm on the demo, so there's no practice mode. It means this is going to be a little bit more inconvenient than last episode, but I still have a lot to say, and we'll still be able to like get through all the basics of Paul Phoenix. So before we start, what kind of character is Paul? Paul is a very simple, very fundamentals-based character. If you like playing characters who are super heavy in terms of strings and you just want to play a character, go into ranked, matchup check people, and get your wins, Paul is not that. While he is a little bit more honest than some other characters, I know a lot of people, like Kazumi in Tekken 7 was like super honest. He's more honest than that. He does have like a little bit of bullshit, specifically at early level, people seem to have a problem with him. I don't know. I think Paul is like a very honest character generally. Mainly just because he's not a string character. He doesn't have a lot of strings. He is a single hit character. His whole focus is getting proper timing, figuring out when his opponent wants to go in, and using his very strong single hits to get counter hits and to win the game like that. And as we'll see, Paul's damage is incredibly high. They've made it even higher in this game, and they've given him a bunch of really cool new stuff. I'm looking forward to playing this character in the full game when it releases. But anyway, we'll get into the actual game. And again, it's the main game, so we're going to have to be like restarting kind of often. It's not going to be a good training bot, but whatever. This is the best we have. So yeah, Paul's main weakness and his main like identity is that his poking is particularly weak. This jab, it's a normal jab, but the range is not very good. Not very good at all. So obviously, jab's important in all Tekken characters, but his jab is one of the weaker jabs in the game, and his down forward 1, well, it is better than like Kazuya's. It's slower than the average down forward 1 by like a frame, I think. And in terms of extensions, you really don't have much. All you really have is, like pressing it again, like that. It's a high, it'll get ducked. So his down forward 1 is definitely not the best move to use for poking. It's still good, obviously, because if you're like, you still need to use these two tools, but what I'm just trying to say is it's not what you play Paul for, right? So his jab's bad, his down forward 1's bad, but we make up for that with basically everything else. Paul has some insanely strong counter hit moves and insanely strong tools. One of them, we'll start with like, and this is just like old stuff in Tekken 7. We'll get to the new stuff in a little bit, but another main move of his is down forward 2. This move is basically unchanged from Tekken 7. It launches on normal hits, it high crushes, and it leads to combos and big damage. So, generally, I like to use this move if I'm jabbing, I'm poking around, and you know your opponent's going to go for a jab, or if you have plus frames, so you can do something like this. Are my controls wrong? Oh, they are. I was wondering. Hold on. Anyway, I was wondering why I kept getting that. So if we do, this is another move I'll get, but how's it called? Hammer of the Gods. This move is +3 on block, and you'll use this, and then you can immediately down forward 1 to catch them mashing. So this move, it's very good up close. It's also very good for keep away. Like if you have a health lead and you want to just keep them away, this is like a very viable strategy. Like just waiting for them to go in and whiff punishing with this move as soon as they do, and once they do, you can get really, really big damage off of that. Down forward 1, okay. And another move that kind of goes along, this is going to be annoying, but another move that kind of goes along with down forward 2 is quarter circle forward 1. This is another launcher. It's another launcher and it is a high. Looks like that. So, and I should mention, oh, I didn't mention before, down forward 2 is safe on block, very safe on block, so you can throw this out. It's a mid, so if they're ducking, you can use this to catch them. And yeah, you get nice combos, especially if you have wall. Paul is like really, really, really devastating in this game if you have wall. But anyway, down forward 2 and quarter circle 1. Oops. Quarter circle 1, you get a full launch, full combo, it's safe. And this is like a really classic staple in Tekken 7, but just, he's not going to block because it's a stupid bot. But quarter circle 1 into down forward 2. Because a lot of people, when they get hit by this, they'll just jab. And if they do jab, like if you ever catch your opponent jabbing, boom, high crush, full combo with down forward 2. So yeah, that's down forward 2 and quarter circle forward 1. Both launchers, they'll both be used in your combos a lot. Quarter circle forward 1 is a little bit better for whiff punishing because this is good for keep out, but the range isn't very good. But like if I know someone's going to run in, this has a lot more range, right? Because you're going forward with the quarter circle forward. Boom. So yeah, that's the kind of the usage of that move. Obviously, they're both safe. A big theme with Paul is just his safety. He's such an incredibly safe character. I guess we'll get into Death Fist. This is like Paul's most iconic move. I'm sure you've all heard of it. It's a little bit different in this game, but the original input, which is quarter circle forward 2, still the same. And maybe a bad example, but this move does massive damage. Just like in Tekken 7, you use it for whiff punishing and for at the wall, and look at that damage. And now it's a heat engager. So you use it and you get into heat, and then you have more pressure. What you also notice about this Death Fist move, which again is quarter circle forward 2, it does way more damage when you're in heat. And not only that, but it's way safer. So normally Death Fist is minus 17. Granted, it still has a lot of pushback, but it's pretty unsafe. In heat, it's minus 13 with major pushback. That is basically safe against most characters. So this Death Fist is going to be a big, big part of your game plan. And just look, it does so much fucking damage, right? Like, if you whiff and they're like, if your opponent whiffs and they're anywhere low, you hit them with that and they're just going to explode. Especially if you have heat. Now, new to Tekken 8, besides the input version, you also just have 1+2. If you press 1+2, you'll get a kind of charged version of the Death Fist. It's different because it doesn't like knock back nearly as much, right? But what's interesting about this one is you can charge it, which a lot of Paul's moves can now be charged, which wasn't a thing in Tekken 7. So if we just hold 1+2, he's gonna keep interrupting me. But that goes through block, even without heat. So if they're holding block and you're like punish, punish, punish. Boom. And major damage, breaks block. So yeah, you'll find, like, look at that shit. I feel like the theme was like trying to make Paul like way more like flashy. So yeah, a lot of Paul's old moves can now be charged. Your 12 frame punish, and another staple move for you, is back 1-2. It's different than in Tekken 7. It doesn't track anymore, but it's still a punish, and it's still like one of Paul's few strings. It's completely safe. Back 1-2. But what's new to this game is you can actually charge the 2 input. So back 1. Oops. And you can hold 2 and you can charge it. Other moves you can charge. Back 2-1. So back 2-1, this is just like a very, very unsafe string, but like high damage. And you'll find that you can now hold the second part of it. You can hold the 1 and you can get... Basically, if you're wondering like what the purpose, when you're in heat, these charged moves, if you hold them, they'll break someone's block. So if your opponent is just really scared and blocking, and actually I'll just show you. So hold on, let's just go into heat. So that effect, that will break block when I'm in heat. It takes up a good chunk, but we charge up, boom. It will, when you're in heat, it'll break block. And it gives you like plus 12, so you can just do like a quick back 2-1, or you can do his new move, which we're gonna get into in a sec. But yeah, that's like a new thing. It's not like super important for beginners, so you can kind of just skip that. But anyway, back to Paul's like standard moves. we have quarter circle back 4. Iconic move from Tekken 7, remains the exact same. This is a counter hit launcher. This is +1 on block. Plus frames on block, I know. It's a high, so your opponent can duck it, but this is going to be your best keep out move. You think they're going to go in? Boom. You can use that and get a counter hit launch and get your full combo. Very, very strong move. Basically unchanged. Besides, it doesn't launch in, it doesn't bound in combos anymore, but and it tracks. So if your opponent's sidestepping, quarter circle forward, or sorry, quarter circle back 4, tracking, keep out, plus frames on block. What's not to like? Another good move to use in neutral is quarter circle back 2. Now this move is a little bit different in this game, but it's the same idea. If you hit it, you get it, and they don't tech, you get a guaranteed down back 2 like this for big damage. Now it's also a heat engager in this game. I'm not sure how exactly that's going to turn out in the full game once people like start utilizing heat a little bit better, but the idea is one of Paul's like better mix-ups was quarter circle back 2, and this is safe on block, and it's a heat engager now. And then the other one was quarter circle forward 3, which is a low, only -14, not launch punishable, does a lot of damage, and on counter hits we get a follow-up. We get a Demo Man, which does a lot of damage. I'm trying to show you the counter hit version, but it's probably just not going to happen. But yeah, that's a 50-50 Paul can use. Quarter circle back 2, and then when they're expecting it, you do quarter circle forward 3. Both give big reward on normal hit and on counter hits. Both are relatively safe. The more risky 50-50 that Paul players, especially beginners, like to use is the Death Fist or Demo Man. Now, Demo Man is a move I haven't shown you yet, and it's very iconic. I'm sure a lot of you guys will recognize it. I think it's going to be different in Heat, but it is down 4, and then 2, and then 1+2. That's how you do it. So, like this, boom. And that does a lot of damage, right? This is just a normal hit. You don't need counter hit or anything to get a combo. Problem with this move is the range is very low. If we look at the range of Demo Man, this is not going to hit unless you're like point blank, like literally in their fucking face. So that's important to note. If you use it like this, you're going to get punished. You need to be right up close to get the full hit. But yeah, Demo Man remains the same as in Tekken 7. So again, down 4 to 1, or sorry, down 4 to 1+2. Down 4 to 1+2. Boom. Tons of fucking damage. What's not to like? It's also used as a combo ender a lot of the time. You have to be like a little careful with it, because if they do block the first hit, this one is definitely not safe. You're gonna fucking explode. It's probably like -20 or something. But you know, very iconic move that Paul has. And also, while he's in Heat, as you just saw, if you just press the Heat Smash button, you get an enhanced version of Demo Man. You just press it once, it does it all automatically. It does a lot more damage, as you saw, and it's also only -12. So definitely worth it if you're about to run out of heat. Press the Heat Smash. It's a low. If you're a beginner, a lot of players aren't going to expect the low anyway, and they're just going to get hit by it, and it's just free damage, right? What's not to like? So yeah, we've done quarter circle back 2, quarter circle back 4. Okay, this one I showed a little bit earlier. Forward 1+2, very iconic, very strong move. This is a mid, and it is +3 on block. Yeah, you heard me, +3 on block. So this is going to be one of your main moves. And unlike like electric for plus frames, there's no execution required. Literally just press forward 1+2. So if you're like jabbing and they're holding block and you want to get frames, or you're at ledge, boom, you can do this. And then again, if they press, you can do down forward 2 or quarter circle forward 1. You have a lot of options on this character. You can either you can even Death Fist. They've given Paul more nuance in this game, but still like keeping the core identity. And obviously, yeah, it's like a super iconic. So yeah, forward 1+2, boom. Simple as that. +2 on block, or sorry, +3 on block. Mid, you don't have to worry about getting ducked. I believe on counter hit, it gives you. Hold on, let me check. He's not gonna let me a key charge. So yeah, like as we see there, it doesn't give you a combo on counter hit, but it does knock down, and you can get whenever people don't insta-tech on Paul with like moves that knock down, you can run up and do, and I guess this will be the next move we talk about, down back 2. Simple move like that. Hits grounded. Amazing for Oki. Oki is like when your opponent gets knocked down and you have the advantage. Amazing move here. They're on the ground, it'll just hit. They're at the wall and they're trying to duck. Very, very, very strong move. Definitely worth like using and like figuring out how to use properly. Because if you're, a lot of new players will struggle because they'll knock down their opponent, right? And they'll keep getting hit by like get up attacks and like random kicks and shit. A lot of that can just be avoided if you just use this move. It's that strong. So yeah, very, very strong move. What haven't we done? I think, oh yeah, we got to do, oh fuck this. Oops. Luckily the start times are really quick, so there's not really any downtime. Back 1+2 is a power crush. So if you, power crush is basically, it just goes through your opponent's moves. So if you know they're going to press, boom. This is neutral on block, so you don't have to worry about getting punished. Paul's very safe. Like everything I've shown you is like pretty safe. That's +1. This is +1, or sorry, this is +3. Very, very safe character. But again, we don't have the strings that a lot of other gimmicky characters will have. So we rely more on fundamentals. Anywho, punishes. I guess we can just do punishes really quick. 10 frame is just 1+2. Basic. 12 frame is what I just did there. Back 1-2. And 14 frame, he has a new one in this game. Usually it's just back 4. So Paul is one of those lucky characters who he can actually launch off of a 14 frame. So if someone does -14, we just press back 3. Boom. Get a full launch. Just like that. And obviously the combos I'm doing are nowhere near optimal. Paul has some of like the best damage output in the game. But you'll have to like, I'm still learning all this stuff. You'll have to like go find that on your own. But yeah, back 4, or sorry, not back 4. Did I say back 4 before? Oh wow, the CPU learned how to rage art. But yeah, back 3 is your, yeah, back 3, not back 4. Back 3 is your 14 frame punish and it launches. And then your 15 frame is just down forward 2, the one we've already talked about a lot. Guaranteed launch. What's not to like, right? Now, I think we're done with most of the old moves. Pretty standard, right? You jab, you use your moves even though they're not good. If they get too close, you can demo man. Keep out. Pretty simple, right? Pretty simple game plan. Very fundamental based. Not a lot of strings. I guess another one we can quickly talk about is down 1+2. A lot of lower level Pauls really like this move. I don't see the appeal. It does a lot of damage, but this is super unsafe. This is launch punishable. So if your opponent just blocks, they can just fully launch you and you're going to explode. So I'm not the biggest fan of that move, but worth mentioning at least. Besides the demo man, we have another string that can be used for mix-ups, and that's down 1. Now down 1, we have a lot of follow-ups we can do off of down 1. Like I said before, you can hold 2 after and charge your punch to make it more safe. But usually what we want to do with down 1 is we want to just go into demo man. So after down 1, we can just do 4, and then 2. So down 1, 4, 2, little poke. And they won't be expecting this low. So it's not natural. So just because you hit the low doesn't mean you'll hit the last hit. But it's still something worth noting, right? I think that's about it for the old moves I wanted to talk about. Now, he does have quite a few new moves. Forward 2 is a big one that a lot of people are talking about, for good reason. Look at that. So this is a 14 frame. You can use it as a 14 frame punisher if you don't want to go for the back 3 that I mentioned earlier. So 14 frame punish, and as you can see, it's a high, and we get this cool little animation. And it's also a heat engager, which I think a lot of people forget to mention. You get this animation, and it'll bring you into heat, which is important because heat is broken in this game, especially on Paul. We've been over this. This Death Fist in heat is fucking juicy, and it's super safe. You definitely want to be in heat, and you want to use heat well on Paul. So yeah, forward 2. It's usually used to extend combos and also end combos. This move is pretty fucking insane at the wall. I'm on a basically infinite stage, but if you're near the wall and you get this, it wall splats, and then you can just follow up, boom, and you can get like easily 100+ damage at the wall. So very strong at the wall. It is a high, so it can be ducked, but I believe it is safe as well. I can't check for sure, but I know it's like relatively safe. It might be fully safe. I'm not sure, but I will find out more as more people like Lab Paul when the full game comes out. But yeah, another thing to note about forward 2 is that you need to be like directly in front of him to get the animation. If you're like on the sides, you just get like this. You won't get this if you're like they're not facing you. So that's something worth noting at least. We have triple forward 2. This is a brand new move. Not the most useful. You're not really going to be... Triple forward is like a rare input. You're not really going to be using this too much. But it's a combo ender. That's about it. And it's pressure at the wall. This one is safe. So something worth noting. It's one of his new moves. One of Paul's better new moves is up forward 2. Boom. So this is a new move. This is completely safe on block. Actually, sorry, it's not safe on block. It is plus on block. So not only does Paul have this that's plus on block and this, we also now have up forward 2. This is a heat engager as well. So worth noting. Mid, plus on block, heat engager. Like, what's not to like? Super strong, right? What else do we have to get through? Down forward 4. Oops. Just standard low. Yeah, back 1-2. Or sorry, okay, I keep confusing them. There's back 1-2 and then there's back 2-1. Back 2-1 is like a lot more. It's like a laggy move, right? But you can, like I said, you can charge it up for bigger frames, and then if you're in heats, it breaks their guard, and you get a free punish. As we know, or as you might know, tackles, which were like a generic thing that every character had in Tekken 7, have been removed in this game. However, some characters still get it. Paul is one of those characters, so while you're in full crouch, if you press 1+2, you get this punish, you get a tackle. It's worth noting at least, especially because Paul specifically gets one of the biggest... Hold on, I get it. Biggest rewards in the game from it, as you can see here. This is called Ultimate Punisher. It does 60 damage off of the tackle. Now, the input is a little bit confusing. So while you're in crouch, you press 1+2 to get the tackle. Then you press 2, down 1-1, and then you press you're supposed to there's like a specific one you're doing, but to make it easier, just set like a keybind or set a keybind or one of your buttons to 1, 2, 3, and 4, and just mash that. And that's like the easy way of getting this. 60 damage, worth noting, right? Like, it's definitely, this could win the game for you. New stance. So we have quarter circle forward, quarter circle back. These are the back sway. These are the stances that have always been in the game. Now, after quarter circle forward, if we hold down forward, see how he lunges? This is brand new, and we have a couple new lows out of it. The main one you're going to be using is the new stance. So quarter circle forward, down forward 3 is it's kind of like quarter circle forward 3, but it's like extended. Way more range, way better on counter hits. That's the main thing you're going to be using out of that stance, I think. You have 4 as well. Oops. Like, look at that. If we go a little bit further, big range, relatively safe, not lunge punishable. We also have, out of this new stance, we have 2-1, which is like a string. Look at that fucking damage, bro. That is some juicy ass damage. So something worth noting. I think that's mainly about it with this character. I know it seems a little bit more confusing, but there's a lot of new stuff, and he's one of those characters, unlike Jin, where he's not like fully discovered because there's a little bit more to him in this game. But yeah, that's the gist of the character, right? You use your down forward 2 to keep him out. Use your quarter circle forward with punish. Quarter circle back 4 plus forward 1+2 plus, and you're just looking for big counter hits, and then you're looking to blow them up basically. Heat, like I said, while you're in heat, you can charge certain moves like this, and also the 1+2 Death Fist, which again they break block while you're in heat. Definitely worth noting, because if someone's blocking and you're in heat, and people are going to be blocking when they're in heat because everyone's going to be scared when the game first comes out, you can break the block and get +12. Worth noting, right? Anyway, I think that's going to be it. Actually, before I go, I'll touch on throws, because a lot of people don't like using throws. Like a lot of new players just won't use throws for some reason, but I think throws are like really, really strong. And Paul, fortunately, unfortunately has a complete throw game. So we have forward 1+2. This throw is completely busted. If you use it at the wall, you get a wall splat, and then you can do 3-2, back 2, and this will do like 80 fucking damage. It's unbelievable. So yeah, forward 1+2, amazing grab. It's a 1+2 break, obviously, and it wall splats. Your main, he has like quite a few, but your main 2 break is 2+4 and then back, boom, sends them forward like this. 2 break, right? And you want to, obviously you mix these up so your opponent doesn't know how to break them. And then the 1 break I usually go for is down forward 1+3. Pretty simple. I'll show you just really quick, just so you know, but it's just a throw, right? Nothing too crazy there. And yeah, that's going to be... You can also do back 1+4. Throw behind. That one also wall splats. So there's a lot of stuff to think about. Character is relatively simple, though, like I said, even though it might seem like overwhelming. Mainly, you just want to use your core moves and look for counter hits. And that's how we do it on Paul. That's going to be about it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. We have another guide for Kazuya coming out, and then I'm going to do one for Nina as well. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. And yeah, that's going to be about it. Thanks for watching.